Good morning. Why did I have to follow her? I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Dale Cole. I'm from Winston, Salem, North Carolina. My family's been here forever. So if any of you guys are native, we're probably cousins. But I'm going to explain first how I got here. I was raised in a strict Baptist home, and I learned pretty much what I did not believe, but I never could find what I did believe. Back in the summer, my wife and I, 21 years separated, and within the next 3 weeks, I lost 2 brothers. So I've had a very challenging time this past year, and I started coming here. I looked for churches online. I knew I needed something in my life that could fill the void. And kind of like you were talking about with your friend, I was sitting in a hotel room alone in the dark, crying, and I get a phone call. It was my best friend from from forever, and he says, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Well, no, I'm not okay, but why do you ask?" He says, "You've just been on my mind. I wanted to call and check up on you, make sure everything was okay." And I explained what was happening. He says, "Well, you've got to come and stay with me." And I says, "Well, I just can't do that." He says, "Sure you can. We've got an apartment in the basement with your own entrance and your own bathroom and bedroom, and my kids are out of the house." And I said, "Well, you've got to talk to your wife before we can agree to this, because I'm not going to go in the middle of that." And he calls me back in about 5 minutes. He says, "What do you want for dinner?" So that is the greatest compassion that has ever been showed upon me, so I can relate. But so I started coming here first week in September, and Reverend Ed spoke directly to my heart that day. And I sat out there and just cried in the parking lot. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it was just such an emotional experience for me. And every week since then, he's said something. I've left here with something positive in my heart, and I appreciate all of you people. You're so kind, you're so welcoming, and I've never had that experience in a church before, and I just want to thank you all. Anyway, I'm going to get started, and I'm going to start this with a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. "In reality, there are many religions as there are individuals. According to Gandhi, true religion is not narrow dogma, it is not external observance, it is faith in God and living in the presence of God. It means faith in the future life, in truth, and ahisma." And you're going to hear the gospel according to Dale. Okay, but I got to explain. I'm an entertainer. I'm a musician. I'm an entertainer. This explains all this. So when I take the stage, I have a different persona. This is my stage persona, and I can get up and do my thing, and it's not basically, it's part of me, but it's not me. I'm deathly afraid to be up here right now talking to you people like this. And this is my security blanket, okay? So just want to let you know what was going on. This I believe. I believe I can fly, but I'm afraid to try. I believe in the equality of all races, genders, cultures, and religions. I believe that man does not have the authority to legislate morality, and the needs of the many outweigh the rights of the few. I believe in science, and that education is essential for the survival of the human race. I believe that music is a universal language. You can put a group of musicians from all across the world together in a room, none of them speaking the same tongue, yet they would be able to create something wonderful without even speaking. And of all the subtle nuances and intricacies of music, none is more beautiful or fundamental than harmony, the blending of multiple voices into a cohesive unit. But harmony is not exclusive to music. There's harmony in the workings of the multiverse. I believe we should strive not only to live in harmony with the natural world, but with each other. If we choose to work in harmony, there is nothing we cannot accomplish. I believe that we are all on this earth for a specific reason. I believe that we all have a purpose to fulfill. I believe that the majority of us have no idea what that purpose is or when they accomplish it. I believe there are random turns of events that not only change us fundamentally as individuals, but alter the course of humanity forever. However, I do believe that there is a driving force to the universe, something that is far greater than any and all of us. This energy goes by different names: fate, kismet, destiny, serendipity, or divinity, and has been shared by all of mankind throughout history. I believe this force can put plans into motion for specific purposes, and while sometimes the effects are instantaneous, some takes years to come to fruition. I believe that we should accept and embrace change, because change is the only constant. Just because things have always been does not mean that these things have always been right. And even as we accept this change, we cannot forget the past. I believe that the same rain that falls on you falls on me. I believe that a house divided is a home to no one, and that our commonalities far outweigh our differences. I believe we have no control over the color of our skin or who we love. I believe that love is love no matter its source. Our heart wants what our heart wants. I believe that love trumps hate every time. I believe that peace is shared and not created, and if you don't have peace in your heart, you can't be at peace in the world. I believe in random acts of kindness. I believe that each of us are capable of great acts of compassion and love, and also capable to commit acts of atrocity and pain. It's up to us on a daily basis to choose which path we follow. I believe we should strive to be a better human today than we were yesterday. I believe we should never intentionally inflict pain, either physically or emotional, on another individual. I believe we should nurture our children and grandchildren and instill them with a mindset of acceptance and compassion, and to encourage them to read any and everything they can. Knowledge is true freedom. I believe it is our obligation to care for the sick and the infirmed, the elderly, and those in need. I believe that we should do these things not because of a fear of eternal damnation or a promised future reward, but because it is good and just. I believe that giving of ourselves for the benefit of others is not only an obligation, but benefits us more than it does the recipient. I believe that none of us are free if any of us are oppressed. I believe that we have one earth and should strive to live it as inhabitable for our next generations as we possibly can. I believe that as the children of Israel wandered 40 years in the wilderness searching for this promised land, I've spent the last 40 years searching for this fellowship. And last of all, I believe in miracles. Thank you.